Nania,
Yes.
give us another ring.
Another ring? You mean like this?
Yes. Well, thank you. You know why we asked for that?
No.
Just for the bell of it. You may continue with your questions if you wish.
Hi, Bashar.
And you good day.
Hi.
Speak up, speak up.
I just came from Maui,
All right.
and I don't really know why I came here.
That's all right.
And
We don't know why we are coming where we are going until we get there either.
and I really don't know what to ask neither. So
You don't have to have a question.
okay.
In fact, the real secret is the more statements you make, the more doors you open for us to investigate. So if you want to make a statement, you can. If you want to have a discussion about a particular topic, you can. It's up to you.
I want to. Okay, the discussion is about unconditional love.
Unconditional?
Unconditional love.
Yes. And?
Yeah, I want to know more about what do you think of it?
Well, what you call in your frequency unconditional love is actually the vibration, the frequency of existence itself.
Okay.
And if you will look in your dictionaries, you will see that unconditional means unconditional, without condition whatsoever. Therefore, the idea of understanding that the vibratory frequency of existence itself translates in your reality as unconditional love, unconditional support, unconditional allowance. Thus then, by aligning with that, by expressing that in your own lives, then you will be most highly aligned with the very nature of existence itself. And you will be expressing more fully that vibration in your life and experiencing that vibration in your life. But it begins with you. You must allow yourself to unconditionally love yourself. Thus then, when you unconditionally love yourself, it is easy to express the idea of unconditional love. If you find yourself having difficulty expressing the idea of unconditional love, then there is some aspect of yourself you are not loving unconditionally. Now, when we talk about the idea of unconditional love and unconditional allowance, it doesn't mean that you can't still recognize what you do and don't prefer. It doesn't mean that you can't observe and recognize neutrally that someone may be doing something that essentially is mechanically negative. That is, separative, disconnective, segregative. The idea, nevertheless, is that you can have the compassion to recognize that they may not know how to do things any other way. And you can perhaps give them some opportunities, some ideas for how they could express and feel more unconditional love in their own lives toward themselves, first of all, so that they don't necessarily have to feel cut off and disconnected and thus act out and lash out at others. The idea, therefore, is that unconditional love, a strong component of it, is neutrality, and a strong component of it is compassion. Is this making some sense to you?
Yes.
Is this helping?
Yes.
Is there some other idea about this you wish to explore in more detail?
Yeah. Like you said that we are the mirror, and if you see somebody even negative, this is actually like mirroring yourself.
Well, it doesn't mean it's a one-to-one reflection. Just because you can observe somebody doing something negative doesn't mean you're negative in the same way.
Okay.
The idea is, however, that you must be observing it for a reason. Many times you will observe negative things, if only to determine that that's not what you prefer. Many people on your planet, because of the way you've been brought up, the way you've been taught to look at life, sometimes they have to experience the idea or observe at least the idea of a negative thing, so they have a much clearer idea of what they don't prefer, which gives them an even clearer idea of what they do. So there are many ways to use this idea. You don't have to necessarily assume that anything is a one-to-one reflection. There is always going to be some relevance or some difference within the idea of why you are experiencing what you're experiencing as opposed to what the other people in that same situation are experiencing. You have to determine for yourself what's true about your involvement in that experience and love yourself unconditionally enough to go exploring and find out what that is. And at the same time, thus serve the others by helping them also discover more about who they are and perhaps give them more of an opportunity to see through you, as an example of unconditional love, how they could also express unconditional love toward themselves and others in life as well. Does this help?
Yes.